Okay, so here's something to think about. So, oil prices are like the heartbeat of the global economy. And today, they're reacting to a ceasefire between the US and Iran. But is this just a temporary calm before the next storm?
That's a great question. And it's one we'll explore today. Welcome to DeActa Daily Digest. I'm Juniper.
And I'm Joseph. Here are today's top stories.
Let's start with the oil market and the US-Iran ceasefire. This is one of those stories where every detail feels like it could tip the scales. What's your take on the situation?
Well, it's fascinating how interconnected everything is. Earlier in the day, oil prices surged after reports of military strikes, U.S. airstrikes on Iranian sites, Iranian missiles intercepted near Kuwait, but then eased when news broke about a memorandum of understanding to extend the ceasefire. Brent crude is holding steady at $95 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate is just under $90. It's a roller coaster, but it's also a reflection of how much uncertainty there is.
And that uncertainty isn't just about oil prices. The Strait of Hormuz, which is at the center of this story, is a critical choke point for global oil shipments. Any disruption there sends shockwaves through the world economy. Even Amos Hochstein, a former energy advisor, pointed out that Iran effectively controls the strait, no matter what any deal says. That's a sobering reality.
It really is. And let's not forget the broader context here. The US and Iran have been in a stalemate over the Strait of Hormuz since a fragile ceasefire took effect in April. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that President Trump prefers diplomacy and wants to give negotiations every chance to succeed. But military strikes are still happening. It's a delicate balancing act, to say the least.
And then there's the economic angle. Citigroup noted that oil markets are stabilizing as investors discount worst-case supply disruption scenarios, but uncertainty about the timing of an agreement is keeping central banks on edge. It's a high-wire act, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Exactly. Central banks are trying to manage inflation while also navigating geopolitical risks. It's ironic, isn't it? Wall Street wants the conflict to end because it's bad for business, but at the same time, the hope of a deal is what's driving oil prices down. Hochstein even said, Wall Street wants to believe what President Trump is saying is right. It's a classic case of markets being driven as much by emotion as by fundamentals.
And speaking of fundamentals, or the lack thereof, can we talk about that second article? It's a troubleshooting guide for access issues on the Telegraph's website, and honestly, it reads like the most mundane thing ever. Why do you think it made the cut?
I was wondering the same thing. At first glance, it seems completely out of place. But maybe that's the point. It's like a palate cleanser between two heavy, complex stories. Or maybe it's a subtle commentary on how even the smallest disruptions, like not being able to access a website, can feel monumental in our hyper-connected world.
That's an interesting way to look at it. And there's something almost absurd about the language they use. If you are using a VPN, disconnect or disable it. It's so matter-of-fact, like they're walking you through a recipe. But then they throw in this ominous-sounding Akamai reference number, and suddenly it feels like you're in a spy thriller.
Totally. And let's not overlook the mention of the Tollbit token. What even is that? It sounds like something out of a dystopian sci-fi novel. You are not authorized to access this content without a valid Tollbit token. It's oddly poetic for a troubleshooting guide.
It really is. And maybe that's the broader takeaway here. How something as mundane as a website error can feel laden with meaning when you look at it through the right lens. Or maybe we're just overthinking it.
Probably a bit of both. But let's move on to the third article, which is all about the 2026 NBA draft withdrawal deadline. Now, this is a topic with some real drama. College basketball programs rising and falling based on last-minute decisions. It's like a soap opera for sports fans.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how these decisions ripple through the entire college basketball landscape. Take St. John's, for example. Tunde Yusufu's decision to withdraw from the draft and commit to the Red Storm instantly elevates them into top 10 territory. It's a huge win for Rick Pitino and a program that's been out of the spotlight for years.
Definitely. And then there's Vanderbilt. Tyler Tanner's return makes them a legitimate contender for a deep NCAA tournament run. He's one of the top point guards in the country, and without him,
they'd be struggling to stay relevant. His decision positions them as a legitimate second weekend NCAA tournament contender.
And what about Kentucky? Their offseason started on shaky ground, but they've managed to stabilize with some key additions. Malachi Moreno's decision to return is a big deal, and if they land Milan Momcilovic, they could be in great shape for next season. It's a reminder of how quickly things can turn around.
On the flip side, you've got programs like Arizona and Stanford that took some hits. Losing Koa Pete and Ibuka Okori, respectively, creates significant voids. But as the article points out, these departures weren't entirely unexpected, and both programs have been planning accordingly.
That's what makes this time of year so fascinating. It's not just about who stays and who goes, it's about how programs adapt and strategize. The best coaches and athletic directors are always thinking several steps ahead.
Absolutely, and it's a reminder that college basketball is as much about the off-court moves as it is about what happens on the court. It's a constantly shifting landscape, and that's what keeps fans, and us, so engaged.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, what's the big takeaway from today's stories?
For me, it's the interconnectedness of it all. Whether it's global politics, website access, or college basketball, every decision and every action has a ripple effect. It's a reminder that we're all part of a larger web, whether we realize it or not.
I love that. And I'd add that even the smallest details, like a troubleshooting guide or a last-minute draft decision, can carry unexpected weight. It's all about perspective.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've covered everything for today. Until next time.
Until next time.